Taiwan recently received some welcome relief when the long-awaited spring rain came to refill the emptying reservoirs. The crisis led to the question of when there's a water shortage, what comes first, farmland or factories? The government policy is to prioritise the industrial sector. Since agriculture already uses over 70% of Taiwan's water supply, some people say it's only fair. But on the other hand, considering the large amount of rainfall that Taiwan gets over the year, other experts say that the country should be concentrating on how to retain its water supply rather than argue over who gets it. In the continuing series of features on the agricultural policy in Taiwan, we take a closer look at the issues.
抗旱的问题呢，当作一个国家安全的问题来对待，赶快做一些协调。那比想象中的还要更为严苛一些。
From the president to city mayors, the Water Resources Agency and ordinary citizens, the drought in Taiwan this year was a major issue. But just when farmers are crying out for water for their paddy fields, the government is following its policy to transfer some of the supply for agriculture to industry.
When we consider economic development in industrial zones designated by the government, if they urgently need water, it is taken first from the agricultural sector, because our farms can keep going for 3 to 4 days, or even a week.
The agricultural sector uses 71.3% of Taiwan's water, as much as 12.84 billion tons. When compared to the industrial sector's 1.64 billion tons, you can see why some people blame farmers for wasting water.
India is also a rice-growing country. Its water consumption is 86%. Indonesia is 91%. Thailand 95%. So compared to other paddy field countries, Taiwan's agricultural demand is not that high.
Earlier this year, the reservoir that supplies Taiwan's Hsinchu Science Park and the Hsinchu area only had 20 days of water left.
Back then, our Administration and Science Park Association called on our factories to exercise self-constraint, asking them to try to cut water use by 3%.
The major international semiconductor and circuit board factories in Hsinchu need at least 3,000 tons of water a day. Before operators move to the park, they must first come up with a water conservation plan.
Our factories understand the value of water. In their manufacturing process, they work hard to recycle. They are up to over 85%, and some operators have reached 90%.
Yet the 60 million tons of water that the agricultural sector transfers to the industrial sector every year is only 1% of the total used by Taiwan's farmers. Instead of competing for a limited amount of water, perhaps the two sectors should be looking for ways to increase supply.
The rainfall we get seems to be very near the top in the world, but it may be we're not storing enough.
Taiwan's annual average rainfall is second or third in the world, but only 1/5 of it is used, which is why Taiwan suffers from water shortages. The key issue is how to capture and properly use that precious supply.